Hello coders, good afternoon. I hope everybody's well. Let me just find the button. There we go. Oh wow. So today we're going to do some discussions on YouTube, because I want to talk about that, the potential changes to upload schedule. We're also going to take a look at the Regex challenge to clear up a little bit of confusion, I think, and also just to go through it. I actually went through it this morning, and oh my word, is it tough. So we're gonna do a challenge. We're gonna do that challenge today, but we're gonna do it with slightly different things. And also, as requested on Twitter, we're gonna be doing some more API PHP testing. In fact, I am running the tests script at the moment, and you can see that there is this issue here that I need to work through. So I think in the order of business for today, I'll talk about YouTube first, and then what I'll do is do the Regex stuff. And this is running through. This normally does take some time because there's a lot of tests. There's 74 API tests here. These are touching the database, so these are going to be taking a long time to trawl through because the database changes and then gets reset after each one. So as you can see, these are taking quite a long time to test. So let's talk YouTube. That's probably the first one. Let's get into this mode. So something that has come to clear recently. Let me just change my camera settings. I've just realized that they're off. My Mac just froze. Scary times. Right. Yes, so something about YouTube that has, I won't spend a lot of time on this because I want to get on to the Regex stuff, but hey, the Tiliadon, thank you for joining. So, the YouTube schedule might change, or it will change, because now we're building this platform where all the videos will be. Obviously, the videos themselves will also be on YouTube as well, for the free stuff at least. I might be increasing the amount of tutorials that I push out every week. That's about it. That's the heads up. So I might be increasing it from say 1 to maybe 2 or 3 a week, just because I want to get a lot of content out, because there's a lot of content that I've already got backed up that's waiting to go. And of course, I have to kind of like conform to, or try and work with the YouTube algorithm. And YouTube doesn't normally allow, or it allows, of course, it doesn't look kindly on videos that are bunched up together. So like every single day you drop a video, it kind of prefers to have a 24-hour gap between each one. So, but I'm going to try and go against the grain because every tutorial is a video in the course, and the course, as I put out on the Discord the other day, could have up to 60 tutorials. So, you know, if we're only doing 1 tutorial a week, that's a whole course per year. That's just not doable. So I might look at increasing my output. And I'm going to have to look at this anyway when I put the How to Code Well stuff live, because I can't let YouTube dictate, you know, when courses go live. You know, it's my distribution platform. Anyway, enough of that. That's all boring admin techie stuff, YouTubey stuff. Let's talk now about Regex. Let's go back to this one here. Regex. So this is the challenge. This is this month's challenge. So using the set of numbers 1, 2, 3, 9, 3, 9, 7, 8, 7, 8 with the hyphens in between. Complete the following levels. You can use PHP, Python, JavaScript for this challenge and create 1 answer per level. So we won't use numbers, we'll use letters for this one, I think. Excuse me. The simplest way, this is the levels, so these are 5 levels. This one is insane. That one's nuts. So level 1, the simplest way. So this is a trick question, okay? So this is a trick question. What is the simplest way to check for the exactly this set of numbers? So this is how I would do that. Again, we're going to use letters. So I'm going to put this in the chat. This is a really good tool, and we're going to be using these things. If I put it into here, so we're going to use that string. Can I increase the size of this? Yeah, okay. So we're going to use, no, because that's not going to show me matches. Okay, so we're going to use this string here, and we're going to do preg match all. So this will match all of them. Okay, so level 1 was the simplest way. This is a trick question. What is the simplest way to check for exactly this set of numbers? So this set of letters. This is how you do that. Boom. That is itself a pattern. These starting and ending delimiters, these are the things that say that this is a regular expression. So the patterns that you would be coming up with would have these slashes, or they could be hashes, or what have you. Okay, so let's move on to level 2. So character classes. Use character classes to check for the numbers. You can also use sets if you want. Okay, so we're checking for letters here, not numbers. So for this, what I would do is I would create a set, and I would do A to Z, and we would do plus, and we would also perhaps put them in a group. Can you see this changing on the fly here? So we would put them in a group. What am I missing? Oh yes, because these are lowercase and uppercase, we would need to use I, because I, if you can see down here somewhere, here, I is case insensitive. So there we go, and that's our output. So we've got ABC, ABC, and EFKL has been matched. Okay. Excellent. Good. I'm glad to hear that, Tilden. Thank you. That's cool. So what are we on now? Level 3. Level 3. Shorthand only. Okay. So now simplify the answer using shorthand syntax. You can also use sets if you want. Okay, use sets if you want. Okay, so we are using a set here. So that's fine. Okay, so we want to do shorthand. So let's have a look down here. This gives you all the shorthand stuff. So sort of like /A would be the start of the string, /Z end of the string, then /S is any white space character, capital S is any non-white space character, /D is any digit, cough cough cough. We're looking at numbers in this. Capital D is any non-digit. Well, we're looking for non-digits here, aren't we? Because, you know, it's A to Z. There isn't a number in this thing. So we would do... probably that. No, we wouldn't do that. No, we would do W. Yeah, we would do W, because W is here. Any word, character, letter, number, or underscore. So this could also be a solution, but really this one is probably better, because this is saying any digit for the challenge at least. So that's it. That's what that is, and it comes out with A, B, and C. Okay. What are we on now? Level 4 is to group these numbers. Well, we've accomplished that because we're grouping them. So that's fine. Level 5 is crazy. This is going to take a little bit of explanation. What happens if the hyphens are sometimes open and closed brackets like this? Now, the interesting thing here, it's a bit of a little bit of a trick question, this. Well, all of these really, because here we're checking numbers, right? Let's turn those numbers into groups. Okay, so we're not actually from level like 1 to 4. We don't actually care about the fact that it's in with hyphens. All we care about is the numbers. But now we're saying what happens if you turn the hyphens, if the hyphens are sometimes open and closed brackets like this, or like this. So now this is being a little bit more strict. You know, we have to look for either the brackets or either the hyphens. So the first thing I would do with this challenge is to look for the numbers first. So in this case we'll look for the digits. So let's say, for instance, on here we would have we want to get the first three, right? ABC, we want to do that. So at the moment the plus symbol means to get all of them, but we only want to focus on the first three on this case. So let's do that, right? So ABC, and what we're going to do is we will change that to D, I believe, and we also need to check we also need to check for the actual bracket. Actually, let's I'm going backwards and forwards here, aren't I? Let me just play around with this a minute. So there's three, there's the other three. So we've got ABC here, and then we need 4 because we have E, F, K, and L. So we'll just deal with so ABC. So that's all matched, and then hey, thank you for following. Thank you for following Captain Bryden. Thank you very much. Did you pick the brackets on purpose as they are needing to be escaped? I certainly did. I certainly did. Yes, I certainly did. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so now we've got A, B, C on this side. We have a hyphen and then AB, and then we've got a C and a hyphen EF. So that's not going to fly. So, okay, the next thing we need to do then is, let me think about this for a second. I'm sort of referring back to my notes. So that's one group, that's another group, that's another group. We need hyphens in between. There we go. So we've got A, B, C, and E, F, K, but the challenge is to do hyphens as well as brackets. Which means that we need to have an optional operator in Regex. This is where the mind gets blown, all right? So, actually, hang on a minute. There's a bug there. That needs to be... No, that's fine. It's just my eyes. Okay, so we got 3 brackets. All right, 3 brackets, and in there we've got the D's, and that's 3. That's saying that I want 3 of this. I want 3 of this, and I want 4 of that. And in between there is hyphens. Okay, this is gonna be crazy. The way I do this is just go, right, can I have that? It's going to pick up the D's, but it's not going to pick up the extra. Sorry, it's not going to pick up the extra here. So you can see that's faded out, so that's now broken. So what we need to do is escape it, as Mr. DB has mentioned. So we do that. Okay. And now we need to do an optional. It's an optional look forward. So it would be, which side would it be? It would be this side. Douche. I think that's right. Is that right? I'm just trying to think. I'm thinking. I did this earlier and it was fine. How? Hang on. I've lost it. Regex is a tough. Okay, let me think. All right, let's do a slash. Is it a look behind or a look forward? There we go. I got the question mark in the wrong way. So that should be seen. So ABC should be fine. And if I remove that, that should also be fine because it's optional. So this is this is an optional bracket. Wonderful. Okay. Right. So that's now good. Now how about this? So that's not good because that's now B, C, and then the bracket here. Oh dear. So how do we get around this? So we're now on this side here. So to do that, we would do a similar thing. We would do a question mark. No, that's not a question mark, Pete. Come on, that's a question mark. Okay, looking at my notes, what do we do? Question mark and then slash because we need to escape the bracket. There we go. Okay, so essentially we need to do the same thing. The same thing again. Oh dear. Yes, this one's tricky. So essentially we need to do the same thing for this here, which is this one. Okay, so we need to have, and we'll get onto the hyphens in a minute. All right, we'll get on to the hyphens in a minute. So we're going to now put in a that, right? So that's obviously failed. We'll do it one at a time as we've done before. So we need the left-hand side first. So we need something in here. So that would be. I'm just trying to look at my notes. I think that would be. It would just be this one again, right? Is that right? Yes, that is right. That's correct. Which means that this one would on the other side. So if I put in that, would be like that. Okay. The fact that I'm having to now scroll this regular expression, let me bring that down a bit just so I can make a little bit more room. Okay, so we got question mark and then, so this escapes the backslash, and then we've got the thing that we want to escape, which is the brace, and then we've got the question mark to say, well, this is optional. All right, so that is optional. So now on this side, we've done the same thing, but here we need to put in a bracket like so, and we got to grab this and paste this in there. There we go. And then finally we do the same thing on the other side. All right, so if I put in that, which means that these are completely and utterly optional now. If I was to remove all of these, I hope. Otherwise I've just no, I've broken it. Oh dear. Let's go back. Is it because of the hyphens? Wow. Oh my god, this is tough. This is tough. Okay. Right, let's see if we can work through. Does this work with just optional? Oops. No, that doesn't work. Okay. Oh, because I've got hyphens in place. That's why it didn't work before. Okay, right. So now we need to deal with those hyphens. So we could do a question mark on this side, maybe. Let's put in a hyphen in here just to be sure. No, that doesn't work. Question mark. Okay, bear with me a minute. I just need to sort Murphy out. He's barking at something. Bear with me a minute. Sorry about that, he's barking at the neighbour's dog. Right, what was I doing? Regex. Oh, good. I was kind of hoping someone would do this for me. Okay. I'm doing it the very hard way. I am. Story of my life. Okay. Let's grab this. This is what's in my notes, so I'm just going to grab the whole thing. I might have done it wrong. No, that still doesn't work, does it? Because we've got... ABC. Oh, it needs to be... It needs to have... Is it? No, I chose not to use W's, so that's okay. That's okay. D hyphen D question mark. Let's do one at a time. So let's just do that and remove that. So okay, ABC. We've got ABC. Good. We don't need that at the front, or do we? No, we don't. Okay, so... Okay, so that would be I'm going to put it back to what it was. Let's get it back to where it was first, and then let's start working through it again. Sometimes it's good to just sort of go back. That needs to be 4. And we obviously need to put in 1, 2, 3, 4, or something. Doesn't matter what it is. Okay, so now we have optional... the example that I gave on here was this. So we have brackets, we have, beg your pardon, we have brackets, and then we've got hyphens. Hyphens. Brackets, hyphens, and then brackets on the other side. There we go. Let's see if we can get to that point. Okay, so let's start again. So we need to have optional brackets. So question mark. I'm getting myself confused. I can't remember if it's this side or if it's this side. I don't think it's... Because that's a group. That is an escaped group. And what does hyphen D do again? Any non-digit. So that will also take... yeah, okay, let me see. Let me just try this with... because this is going to get confusing with the hyphens, because it technically that is a non-digit. So let's do 111, 111, and 2222, and let's just, yeah, let's try that. So let's get rid of this for a second, and we are looking for any digit this time. So lowercase d. good. Okay, now if we put in the optional thing here, so it will be escape that, which is good, but it needs to be optional, so it's not that side. Is it that side? Let me have a look. Rather than just guess. So Regex optional pattern. After. After it, okay. So okay, that's fine. So that's fine. That's good. Right, and then we need to have something in here. Now we can make these two optional because we could do that or that, and it's this side. So that would be, so that should take on that. Yep. Although I think I might need to put this in a group. Not a group, a sort of a set. Because this is saying that... Or maybe I do... Yeah, I think I'm going to need to do... that. Is that right? Yes. Yes, because now it's working on this. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. Cooking on gas now. Okay, so... no, that's not... That's not... Oh, dear. So that's fine, but that's not. That's fine. And that's fine. That's fine. And that's not, which is fine. What about that? I think actually that needs to be that or that. Is that so? It's hyphen or a slash with anything. I think that's right. So that would be... Nope, that's not the case. Or is it? Or was it? No. No. Oh man. Oh man. I'm getting stuck here. Definitely is that side, isn't it? Yes, it is. That is saying that optionally you could have one A to Z. So it's I think it's the fact that there's both the hyphens and the okay, alright, so it's optionally that. Can we do that, or is that... I can't tell if that's faded out and isn't good. Okay. Why is this not refreshing? What's going on? Is my stream down? What's going on? No, we're online. That's odd. just seems to be like that's not refreshing. That should be... Why is that grayed out? How strange. Okay, no, that did come back. Nope. As you can tell, I'm not very good with regular expressions. One bit. Ah, you used ors. Okay. Yeah, you could do that, I guess. Yeah. So, like, that. Yeah, so we could do, like, that, or this. No. I swear I had this working earlier. Honest, Gov. Honest. Let's get that out of the way. Right. So, it's that or... that. So what have we matched? And I want to see if I can get this in a... There we go. Okay, there we go. That's cooking. That's cooking. Okay, so that's saying this or... Is that... Or that. Yes, so that's fine. That's cool. Good, 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 good. Okay. Now, the next thing is this one here, which would be that one, so that's fine. But because we've got, because obviously the brackets go around these things, it's going to be different, isn't it? Because what we're saying here is that that and that are valid. But that's not, we want that and that. So I wonder if we can do that with also that and that. Is that going to happen? No, it's, of course it's not going to happen. That should have... My head is exploding now. Now, it really is. So, okay, it's that. That is what we've got, right? That's where we're at. All right. Let's see if we can do one at a time. So it's no. This is a dilemma. How do I get around that? How do I get around this bit? Okay, gotcha. Thank you for that. Let me have a little gander on that one. So we have... Let's get rid of that for a minute. Right, so what we're saying is we have a set where we have... I'm just trying to... I'll copy that note in. Thank you, Tilidon. I'll copy that in. Let's have a little look. I'm just going to copy this into my notes just so I can see it a bit bigger. Oh, that's clever, isn't it? I see. Okay, that's quite clever. So what we're saying here is we have hyphen or this, and that's optional. That makes sense. Hyphen D, because we want to get digits. Gotcha. Another group, another set. And again, we want this or that, and that's obviously optional, but we need to group these. So, but that's not going to entirely work because we need to have it. There we go. Boom. Oh my gosh. Murphy is by my feet, just staring up at me like, you're a fool. Okay, let's explain what's going on here. Wowzers. This was tricky. This was super tricky. Like, I wrote this thinking, nah, it'll be fine. It's just escaping. That's the only thing that I'm adding to this. But phew, it's those brackets and those hyphens because they're optional. Okay, so what we've got here is a set where we've got an... we'll break this up into one by one, right? I think that's probably the best thing to do. I've forgotten the first backslash. Oh, I have, haven't I? Yeah, god dear. Okay, so this here is our set where we have a hyphen or we have a open brace. Now this is the or. This is the escaping of the brace. We have to escape the brace because this is a symbol that is identified in a regular expression. So it's like a pattern matching symbol. So we have to escape that. Okay, so this means that we can start with either a hyphen or a brace, open brace. This means that this is now optional. Okay, so we don't need this at all if we don't want to. But if we do, it must be a hyphen or an open brace. Okay, good. This is the magic. This thing here is the this gets the digits. So hyphen D is our shorthand for getting digits, and then the plus symbol will get all of them as groups. Excuse me. And I can't remember. Is that one or more, or is that? Yeah, it is one or more because dot is 0 or more. So yeah, that's one or more. So that gets us that. So if I was to remove this, for instance, it would just fall. So if I did that, for instance, it will get all the digits. But now we want to get a group of digits. Okay, and then this one is basically the reverse of this. Because we've got the open brace here, we want to do a closed brace. Jeez, this is the thing I've got with Regex. I'm really, like, as you can probably tell, I'm not very good with Regex at all, and I would have to if I was to write this and then come back to it in a month's time, I would have to relearn this again and again and again. This to me this is gobbledygook. Yes, precisely that, the Tilden. So this here will match that, it will match this, it will match this, it will match it should match this, he says. Yes, it does. Yeah, which was the original. So there you go. Wow. Can I just drink my tea? I haven't had a sip of my tea yet. So never mind doing this live, doing regular expressions live. I haven't had my caffeine yet. This is why there hasn't been a regular expression course on how to code well, because I feel like I would be an imposter to teach people this, because I need to learn this myself again and again and again whenever I look at it. So it's one of these things, it comes with practice, but you just need to have so much practice. I mean, that just looks like Egyptian writing, to be honest. But each one of those symbols does something. Here we go. The Dilladen's saying we can do a little bit more modification after the -d. Remove the plus and add 3 or 4. Oh, look at you! Look at you and your gold star. Oh, okay. Yes, that is correct, because that is a range between 3 or 4. Yes. So instead of this, we would either want 3 or 4. Yes, that is correct. So you can drill down with Regex and make it more specific and more precise. Yeah. Cool, I'm putting that into my notes now. I'm going to take a sigh of relief and I'm going to get on with some PHP. If you want to only... if you want to only... Yeah. Yes, that's true. I'll put those in my notes, and I'll also push them out to the Discord as well after the stream, because I've put some stuff in the Discord, which is obviously clearly wrong. That was level 5. I'm so glad there isn't any more. Okay, can we get on with some PHP now? Go back to my happy place. Okay, so I put out a tweet. I put out a tweet on well, obviously on Twitter. I tweeted on Twitter the other day a poll as to where this project, as to what I should be doing on stream, whether I should be doing some JavaScript or whether I should be doing some PHP. The JavaScript would be the API client that I'm currently building in the background. So this is an NPM package that I'm building for the project. It's an API client. Or to do some more PHP testing, API testing. And it came back that more people wanted to see the PHP API testing than the JavaScript. So there we go. It doesn't really matter to me. They both need to be done. It just means I'll do the other one next week. So I've just ran all of these tests, and that we have 2 failures, which is worrying. So we need to fix those failures first, and then what we'll do is we'll go through all, the rest of them. And if I go over to here, we can see all of the APIs that we have here, all the endpoints. We've done everything up to the customer payment, although I'm going to probably focus on that off stream, because that's a little bit you know, secret. And then this one here, the forgotten password stuff, the profile edit, the resources, all of these stuff, we can tackle all that, no problem. But first of all, why on earth are these failing? And this looks like an issue with a namespace. Now, I was faffing about with namespaces the other day on the testing, so I reckon I've broken it. So this one is, if I scroll to here, this one, admin get users assessed. So don't worry, I won't run through all the tests again for each one, you know, because that takes ages. Yeah, let me get rid of, I can now get rid of some of my notes because that's cool. Hey, Natsak. Oh, gosh. I did regular expressions live. I was speaking to some live streamers the other day, and they were like, that's the one thing you don't want to be doing on a live stream. I feel mentally exhausted after that. I really do. I'm so glad that Tillerton has joined, because I would still be doing it now. I'm so happy that you joined. Thank you very much. What I'll do, Natsak, is I'll post the solution in the Discord server, and we'll clip the I'll after this stream I'll do a clip, and I'll push this out as a clipped VOD, so you can see me struggle. Ah, dear. Good. Right, so this is a namespace issue, right? This is the namespacing jobby. Okay, let's get into this. So, we're going to do we're going to go into files, and we're going to search for this. Okay, good. And do we have a line number? We do. We have 50. Search for that. Okay, here we go. Aha! So, have I not imported it? No. There we go. Okay, so I think that was just missing, and I should be able to just run that group. So we need to get into the container. So let's get into bash. And then do a docker compose. No. Come on. This is where I get angry with myself, because I know there's no docker in docker. That's right. Bin console codesep. Bin codesep, and then it's run API. And this is another example of why it's like kryptonite. The regular expressions is like kryptonite. It sucks all of my programming superpowers away. Not that I had many, but okay. Yes, that passed. Good. Okay, there was another one, wasn't there? There was that one, and then there was a Stripe jobby. 404. failed asserting that 504. What? What? That's not right. Crikey, why is that a 504? Sorry, not 504, a 405 even. A 504. What am I talking about? A 405. Why is that a 405? Okay, again, let's get into the code. It's this. So let's do Control-C to copy it, get into the IDE, press Control-O to open that, move over a tab to get into Files, paste that in, and then press Enter. Boom. No, that's the wrong file. Of course it is. It's... Do I not have... Oh, it's right at the bottom. Look. Oh, that's annoying. That one. And then what is the line number? It's line 38, so Control or Command L 38. Press Enter. Boom. This is the thing, not found, although it's now saying that it's a 405. Method not allowed. So the method that I'm passing in is a GET request. It should be a POST request. This is actually true. So this should be method not allowed. There we go. So let's run that just to make sure that that is okay. I remember doing this now. I was being a little bit overly cautious, making sure that, because this endpoint obviously deals with the payment, so I was making sure that that was, locked down as much as possible. Hence that test. Right, good. That's done. Sweet. Right. All right. Let's get into here. So we've covered this off a little bit. I've got more to work on off stream. The forgotten password. This is the tricky one because there's forgotten password reset, and then there's this weird thing down here which is forgotten -password, which I can't for the life of me remember what that was for. So we might have to remove one of them. I think we're probably going to remove that one, to be honest. So this, by the way, is Swagger. It's using the Nailmio API doc bundle, and the project is built in Symfony in Docker containers. This is going to be the How to Code Well new site. That's what we're building and have been building for ages. Okay, so this one, API user password forgotten. First of all, do we have any tests against this? If we had a look into API, these are all the tests for the APIs. We've got forgotten password test, and we've got forgotten reset token. I need to double check the API endpoints are this and not the one down here. So this is password forgotten. Password forgotten, that's correct. Password forgotten, that's correct. Okay, good. Okay, so we are working on the right one. That's always good to know. Okay, let's have a look at these tests then. So this one is no token request test. What does this do? Passing in API user password forgotten unauthorized. Okay, so this is where you're passing. So this gets a bit confusing because we're actually getting a confirmation token, which is a token. So it's kind of a war of the words here. So this one is actually trying to access this endpoint without actually being logged in. Is that? Yeah, that's what it's trying to do. Because here we're saying that you want to be bearer authenticated, and then you want to do API user password forgotten. Why is that incorrect token request? Okay, this is confusing. I'm gonna have to have a look at this controller code, I think, just to refresh what it's doing. So that would be in, where are we? Forgotten password. API password forgotten. So yes, of course it is. Right, so this API endpoint can only be accessed by the system, not by a user, because, you know, obviously the user has forgotten their password and therefore wouldn't be logged in and therefore wouldn't have a token, and therefore if they try and access this with a token, then it just is going to fail. That's what that test was for. So only the system can make this request. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. All right, let's get rid of some of this. Yes, so this test is saying I want to do this with no token. This test is saying I want to do this with a user authenticated token, and it's forbidden. And this test is saying I want to do it with the system token. So that's what these cover. Okay, I'm happy with that. That's good. Let's see if we can tackle this as a GET request as well. So we'll do a GET request, because this should be POST request only. So this should be a method not found, method not allowed. Okay, so that covers that, and we'll just quickly run this test. I can get rid of this for now. We'll probably need it soon. Okay, so that covers those three, and then this one here is message type. So this is testing the message that comes back. Good. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're supplying the data, which is, this is a user that exists on the system, in the test system at least. So, and then here we're saying that we're posting a POST request, passing in the JSON encoded data, and then, well, this is the success response that we get back. Then we're looking into the database to making sure that the user has been disabled. Yeah, because if you, yeah, okay, good. Although, is that a good thing? Because that would just allow people to disable people's accounts, surely. I'm going to have to think on that one, I think. But a test that we could do at least is to pass this up with the system token but without data. That would be good. And then and then do another test to make sure that the email is correct. So that would be good. So let's try and do that. So in this case, incorrect token request, passing in, so incorrect payload. Okay, so we want to pass up we want to do a POST request with the system, so we know that this works, and we do not want to supply a payload. This should return us a bad request. Yes, this should return a bad request. And in fact, what I'm going to do here is run this with -v, just to see what the response is. -vv. All right. So this is the system, our test system. Client credentials. Murphy is on the wander. So this is the bearer token that we get from that. We make that request, and now we can see that it is a fail. We get a 400. And here we go, cannot find user by email, which I think is good. It's a good enough. So let's we can make sure that the test that it comes back with that. Although, so it's come back as a 404, not a 400. Technically, that's a bad request. because it didn't have a payload. So technically that's throwing up an error in the code. Technically. So if we go to forgotten password controller, get user from email request or throw exception. So let's open that up. And this is this is the user manager interface. So we're looking for that one, which is in manager, user manager, and it is in get user from email request or throw exception. So here we try and get that email from here with the field name of email. And then if we don't have, so I think we need to put in a check here to say if empty email, so can we do I don't know, can we do a request has? Can we do that? Can we do yeah, we can. Sweet. So that would return a boolean on the field name. So, all right, let's bring this all the way up here. So this will be the first check, right? So if, and so this would be has email, has field. If we don't have the field, then what we need to do is throw bad request HTTP exception. You alright, Murphy? New bad. Okay, so that would be an invalid request. And I think I need to pass in null, and I think I need to pass in 400. I think. I just want to double check something a minute. Bad method call exception, bad request, bad method call exception, bad credentials, form. Let's try that. Base of bad method call for the form component. That's not right. That needs to be 400. All right, let's see what that does now. Okay, good, that works. It's come back with a 400 with an invalid request. So we can probably put that in as a test as well. So in the here, we would do, I see response code is bad request, but we can also see I see response contains JSON where the errors is an array where the error is invalid request. Let's just make sure that still works. Belt and braces. No need to put in VV now. Yeah, sweet. Okay, so now what we do is we pass in a payload, but with the incorrect email address, right? So, or an email that is invalid. We don't have a test for that, do we? Oh yeah, we do. Okay, so that's a valid email. So that should be non-existing email. Okay. Because that is a valid email. It's just it doesn't exist on the system. So we get the not found back. But we now want to do another test to test that there is an invalid email. That's what we want to do. The Tilden said, okay guys, just finished the challenge in JavaScript. Now I need to write some... I can't read. I need some glasses, I think. Some essays. Maybe I will add in later months the PHP and Python version too. Sweet. Do it. Yeah, do it. And if you do, and this goes for anyone, if anybody writes a blog article based on the challenges or based on something that you've heard, then by all means refer back to How to Code Well. Let me know and I will push it out on Twitter. I'm more than happy for that. Okay, so this would be the invalid. So this would be like something like that, right? So an email that doesn't exist. So again, this would be bad request, right? This would be a bad request. So this would be an invalid email. Invalid email. Invalid email. Invalid email. I can't spell valid, even though I'm singing it. Thank you very much for following. Do appreciate that, Captain Bryden. I don't think my stream deck or my stream activity feed is updated because I'm sure yeah, it says you followed an hour ago. What program I'm using? Belarus. Yes, I am using PHP Storm. Storms of the PHP. It's good. It's very good. I recommend it. I'm laughing because we took Murphy to the forest today. Murphy's my English Springer Spaniel. And he went running out. We haven't been to the forest since lockdown. And we took him to the forest today and he loved it so much. But 4 months not being able to go to the forest, he needs to get fitter. He needs to get fitter, I think, because we did like half the walk that we would normally do. Also, we were running low on waters, so we turned back because we didn't want him to get a dry throat or anything. So this should return a 400. Yeah. I'm looking forward to that, the Tilden. Yeah. Okay, no, this has failed. And why has this failed? Because it returns a 404 and not a 400. So again, this is checking. this is just passing any old thing into this request here. And it's doing a find user by email, which one could argue that that's fair enough, right? That there's enough there. There's a blocker. Do I really want to go down the rabbit hole and actually validate that this email is an email address? I really don't want to do any more regular expressions on the stream. But really, thinking about this, this could be a form, and I could validate it via the form. And to do that, I mean, this is smelling like I need to do a bit of refactoring here, because essentially what's happening is that on the forgotten passwords API here, we pass in the request, and it's doing a check. But actually, what we could do is a whole form based thing, pass that in. It's just the form has validation rules against it, so I could, if we went down that route, we would create a form specifically for just an email address. So let's just play with that idea. Let's play with that notion. So we would have, so I'm creating now an email form in Symfony. It's just simply going to have, actually that's not going to work because email type is a type. So I tell you what, let's change this to be forgotten password type. In my head it feels better that it is a form, because you can use more granular control about getting the requests in, making sure that they are what they should be. So let's get rid of all of this for a minute. We can still keep the email on, because that's what we need. And in this case, it doesn't have a data class. We're not worrying about the data class. I don't think so. I don't think we need one, because this isn't going to actually return an entity. It's just going to validate that this is an email address. Okay, so how will I put this into play? In play, what I would do is when the request comes in, we would need to say, okay, well, we've got the form here, and this is this create form, or create form. Hang on a minute. What's the... No, that's not right. What am I extending here? Base class. No, I'm not extending that. That's basemat. Oh, extends basemat. No, hang on. This isn't where I should be putting the form. Not the manager. No, I should be doing it in the controller. God dear. So I should be putting it into the forgotten password API, this one. So we would do form is equal to this, create form, passing in the type, which is the forgotten password type, right, class. We're not actually passing in anything, like we're not creating a user or anything behind this. And then we would do form, yikes, handle request, passing in the request. Whoops. And then we would do if form is valid, and form is submitted. Actually, no, we won't. Because you can only hit this if you're doing this, so it's either going to be valid or not. So there's no need to check if that's submitted. So if is valid, and then we would obviously do an else. So if is valid goes off and does all the various bits and pieces, so generating the token, saving to all that jazz. Let's just focus now on an else, because we're going to throw an exception if it isn't valid. Well, first of all, we need to check whether there is a system. That's the most important thing at the moment. And then here we can then at this point we can do that. And in fact, thinking about this little piece of refactoring work here, let's just not pass in the request, right? So let's pass in the actual email address. Now I know that this is going to break because there's other things that require this, so I'm not going to, let's create another method. So I'm going to create public function get user from email. We're going to go up to the manager. This is going to take string. This string is going to be an email. And that needs to be a string. That needs to be an email. And actually thinking about this, maybe I don't need to do this. Maybe I'm overcomplicating it. Because we've got the manager, we've got user manager. This is obviously completely and utterly untested code that I'm just throwing on the page. And I'm just trying to sort of get my head into. So there is a find user by email. That's what I was looking for. That's what I was looking for. So we don't need this because we've already got that. This is doing it from the request. I'm going to deprecate this. And what we should be doing is we should be doing form get data or form get email. And we should be doing user manager find this time. And that would be the email. So we validated that it is an email, so we were only passing in valid emails to this point. Which means we don't need this anymore, which means that this up here can just go user. Okay. Okay, and then obviously I've just noticed that we're doing this on the negative side of this, so that needs to go down here. This needs to throw an exception. There we go. Throw exception because it's invalid, but in fact it doesn't need to throw an exception. It just well, it does need to throw an exception. It needs to throw an exception with the form errors. Throw, well, this get, no. Form get errors. And I'm sure. Do I not have a little helper for this? Get. I thought I had. Strange. Maybe it's another project I've been working on, but I thought I had in the base class. Huh. No, I don't. That sucks. I'm sure there was. This is JSON encoding. This is find or throw. Abstract controller. Here it is. System token is one of. I'm sure there is something in here which will give me an error, a set of errors back in a sort of a nice to. Maybe it's another project. I've been working on many, so maybe it was another project because I can't find it. I can't find it. Oh well, never mind. Okay, so what were we doing here? We were trying to get create a form that handles the request that comes in, and then do something when there's errors. And then anything under this, line 57, means that we have a valid user. Again, we would have to do... I do have a helper for this. Is user or throw exception passing in the user. I do have a helper for that. So that will go if there is a user, if that is not an instance of user passing in the user interface. Although that doesn't make any sense. That should be... There we go. Yeah. Okay, good. User confirmation token passing in the user. That is either nullable or not. Sorry, Slayer. Yeah, I'm doing well, thank you. I'm good. I'm good. I'm carving up the code again.
No coders.
Carving up the code. I'm not getting any notifications for people who are following, so I'm really sorry for. But thank you very much for following. My activity feed has frozen. I'm actually gonna refresh this page. Now I can see. I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry. It froze after Captain Braden. That was like an hour ago. So I'm really, really sorry. So I just want to say a massive thank you for. I'm going to butcher these usernames. Bailyrus and Bad Code Wish. Thank you very much for following. Thank you very much. Cheers. I'm going to drink some squash. Thank you very much. Okay, so going back to the chat. Did you see the community website I linked to you on Discord? Yes, I did. Sorry for not getting back to you on that. Yes, I did. Thank you. If you want me to put any kind of spiel or bio or anything to that effect on that page, then let me know. I'm more than happy to do so. So, yeah. Oh, of course you can. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure if the well, my bot is probably gonna mess that up. Because it's gonna block the URLs. I think it's Nightbot. Give me 2 seconds. Give me 2 seconds a minute. I'll see if I can control Nightbot. It would be in spam protection. Apparently it's off, so go ahead and give it a go, but I'm sure that it was... oh, hang on, I've got a whitelist. No, wait, that's not going to work. I've got a whitelist. I'll tell you what, you've sent that link to me in Discord, haven't you? I'm going to find it. I'm on Discord now. I'm going to find it and I'm going to put it into the show notes because I know that I'm allowed to put links in. So give me 2 seconds whilst I do that. You mentioned this in... was it general chat? Can I search for it? Nope. Where's my chat window gone? I gotcha. Thank you. I'll bring that up. Sort out all the spacing. My stupid bot. It's only because we've had some trolls on, or we did have a long time ago, and they started spamming. And so what I did was I created a whitelist of all of the links that I am aware of that I would push out, but it doesn't really help when you're when you're live streaming about code and you've got everything's on the internet. Anyway, enough of that. Let's. What am I looking for? I'm looking for the chat window again. Ugh. Here we go. This is the website that Slayer Darth is talking about. Go and check it out. And then come back. Bad Code Wish is saying, would it not make more sense to get rid of the custom is user or throw exception? Probably. Yeah, and replace it with assert user instance of user and a custom assert handler which throws an exception. Seems more idiomatic. Probably. Quite possibly. The hardest part of the Slayer Darth's website, which is built in Jekyll, by the way, which is awesome, was the converting pongs to SVGs for Fontanello. I don't think I've ever used Fontanello. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Very kind of you. Very, very kind of you. Yeah, if you want me to write like a little bio or something, I'm more than happy to do that, because I see that they're on some of the other profiles. Or are they? Yeah, like Chris, for instance. Yeah, it's a nice site though. I really do like. I tell you what. Why am I not showing this on stream? Let me bring this up. There we go. Ooh, I didn't realise that happened. Look at that. It moves. I like that. Yeah. So this is Sleddar's site in Jekyll, and we aim to showcase the best in STEM talent, including technicians and instructors on content-driven platforms, including Twitch and YouTube. So I'm really chuffed that I'm on here. Thank you very much. And you can filter by various things like science, streaming platforms, and the collective. Different types of disciplines, including biology, chemistry. Whoops, these are linkable. Chemistry, computer science, electronics, engineering. I can't say that word, so I'm not going to. Maths and physics, geology was the word. And then here you have the instructors. So there's me. Let's get rid of that. There we go. So you've got the various different instructors here, which is nice, and you can load more as well, which I like. I like that. Nice. Good. And then sort of you click on one of these, and it gives you the links to the various things as well. I can put in my stream times as well for the live for the Twitch, and the times for when I upload videos to YouTube, maybe, although that might change. And you can, from here, you can add a new streamer as well. So this is all on GitHub. So you can fork the repo. Yeah, go check it out. It's in that link. It's really good. Nice work there, Slaredarth. I like the, in terms of project feedback. Okay, let's do the project feedback. I know I'm going off piece now because I was doing some code, but let's take a look at this. So, I think like this, I really like. Right, you've sorted out the mobile aspect of this really well. So it's very responsive, and you've got the menu here, which scrolls in from the left. Images are a good size. Yeah, and you've put in sort of a fade effect when the load more button is not available, because obviously I've loaded all of these. If I was to refresh the page, is it going to load them all? No. Okay, that's fine. So let's hit load more again. What happens? So that disappears and it loads them back. Now I seem to remember when I did this before, it took a little bit of time to do. So is there any like local storage running behind this? It might be worth, did you see that? It might be worth, if I refreshed here, if I hit load more, it might be worth somehow, and this might be a bit tricky, but it might be worth discovering if at this point now there is any more to load, and if there is, have this still in this color, but if there isn't, then automatically set this to be like the fade effect, just because from a UI's perspective, I think that would be better. Otherwise, you're giving them an extra click. So here, this is the first click. You hit load more, scroll to the bottom, and then you expect that there is more because you can hit the load more button. But when you do that, that just fades and nothing appears. So maybe having it faded already if there isn't any more to load. A way you could do this is perhaps when it comes back with, because I haven't seen the code behind this, but when it comes back with the request, have it with like when it comes back with the response of people to load, maybe have like a count of the ones that are left, or like a total records versus the records you've got, and do a comparison, that kind of stuff. Little things, but really good. Really like that. Personally, I would also have underlines, like when you hover over these, because it doesn't at the moment stand out as, you know, all of these are different colors, right? But there's nothing here to tell me that this is linkable apart from when I hover over it. So maybe have some underlines. I really like the way you've done the titles, the names. That's good. I'm really impressed with the fonts and the spacing. It looks nice. That's cool. That's nice. Perhaps have some imagery on here, because the others they have nice images, so maybe some images to show like the GitHub logo, the Discord logo, and maybe an email thing. And then what did I click on? Yes, maybe have some sort of effect when you hover over these things as well. Yeah, but apart from that, I think it's brilliant. Like, really good, and I'm so chuffed to be on it. Thank you. I'm just gonna get rid of my Nightbot page, because that's not needed. Cool, just going through the chat now. So the next step is to focus on SEO and analytics. Sweet. Spacing between the images on mobile would be nice. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Let's have a look at that again. So if we go back to lineup. So if we put it back to mobile. Yeah, I agree with that. Maybe like a little bit of a gap. That would be good. That would be good. I see what you mean there. Yeah. I tell you what would be really good, right? If and you may have done this already, I don't know, but what would be awesome is if so when you say add a new streamer, instead of forking the repository, maybe have a pull request. So, and have that pull request conform to certain Git rules. So, like a template. What's up here? Yeah, maybe like an issues template where you can say, like, I don't know, streamer name, streamer URL, schedule, that kind of thing. So when a new streamer wants to be added, they have a template to fill out off the back of this. It would probably make your life a little easier. Otherwise, you might get lots of people just come up with random stuff, pull requests, forks, all of that jazz. Sorry, I'm looking over there because Murphy's wandering about. Okay. So back to the code. What am I doing here? I'm hacking it up. That's what I'm doing. And why am I hacking this up? I'm doing it because we're passing an email, and I'm trying to validate that email, and then getting the user off of the back of this. Do I need to do this? This seems like there's a lot of work involved here for just this. Why did I choose to do this? I chose to do this because I wanted to use a form. And Bad Code Wish said, would it not make sense to get rid of the custom is user or throw exception, which is this one here, and replace it with assert user instance of user and a custom assert handler, which throws an exception. Isn't that doing the same thing though? Well, the effect would be the same. My only concern would be the fact that there's lots of places where that happens. So that in itself would be like a big change to the rest of the system. Things that I want to avoid. However, it does sound better. I can see myself going down a rabbit hole here. And replace it with with asset user instance of user and a custom asset handler. I think what I'm going to do, Bad Code Wish, is I'm going to grab your comment, I'm going to paste it in a note, and I'm going to put this somewhere. Actually, no, I know exactly where I'm going to put this. I'm going to put this on Jira. Remember that Jira board that we were playing with all those many moons ago that I'm still dealing with? I'm going to just log into Jira. And I'm going to put this, and I'm going to label this with refactor, because it's a good point. It needs a little bit more investigation, and there is going to be a lot of pain in terms of sorting out the rest of the project to conform. But if that's a better way of doing it in the long run, then I'm all for it. But perhaps maybe in the next, in the next phase. But still, sorry, I don't know why I'm not showing this. This is the Jira board, and I'm going to create a backlog item, and I'm going to just paste this in. So Bad Code Wish, so mentioned on stream. I hope you don't mind me putting this in. Can't spell it. So I'm going to put this down with a label of refactor. And also, new label please, API, CMS, because it will affect all of these. I'll assign it to myself, and with a title of refactor is usual or throw exception calls to use a custom asset handler. Come on, Pete. Jeez. Come on. Thank you. Can I quote this? I don't know if I can. Styles. What have we got here? Headings. Tables. User mention. I'll just leave it like that. Investigation needed. The thing is, the thing that really gets me here is the handler, right? Because what I'm doing at the moment is I'm putting this in the base class, and if I'm not careful, the base abstract classes are just going to be junkyards full of little methods that, No, don't worry about it. So yeah, I'm just reading the comments. Functionality the same, but in terms of readability, yes, I'm all for that. The fact that those lines will throw exceptions are hidden halfway through, yes, they are. Whereas asserts stand out, definitely agree with that 100%. But you're also right that it's a lot of work when you're already this far down the line. It is a lot of work. However, refactor little and often. I think I'm going to task this as phase 2. Phase. Can I not do that as a label? Phase -2. Can I do that as a label? Yes, I can. So post live. And investigation. Oops, investigation. There we go. So we're not going to put it in a sprint because, it's Yeah. So Bad Code Wish has also made a good point here. So if the email address matches an account, we will send out an email containing the reset link. Sure. Yes. Yes. So you want to make sure that if it fails, you're still saying that you're going to send out an email, because you don't want people to sort of play the system. You know what I mean? Right? So you don't want people to go, oh, it's a 400 or 400, so the email's not right, or oh, it's not a 400, but it's a 404, so the email is right, but the user doesn't exist. Let's see if we can play this game, the system a little bit more. Totally. No worries. Have a good day, Bad Code Wish. Thank you for joining today. Really appreciate it. Hey, thank you for joining, Liquid Oxygen. Oh, sorry. No, it's not Bad Code Wish is going. It's sorry, it's Mr. DB. I need to get my eyes tested. I really do. It's something that I'm going to do in post-lockdown. Have a good day, Mr. DB. Let's create this. Okay, right. So yes. So throwing exceptions like this is not fun. Is not a good idea, essentially. An eye test to the post-sprint jobs, yes. Right. Interesting. Okay, so another problem that I'm going to have here is that this isn't technically, this is coming to this as JSON. So I'm going to have to transform the request and populate which is going to be tricky. But, I mean, that returns a Boolean, I think. Yes. And now we're saying that because this is returning null, that's why I see now, because that was returning a Boolean, so this is optional. And then this checks that. But because the check is done in here, I don't know whether it's the case here. Which is why these are all user interface, and that comes back as the expected parameter of a app user interface. Is that right? App entity user interface. Expected parameter of app entity user interface, but app FOSS. Yeah. All right. So this is why I was trying to do it in my way, because I've got a user manager that I'm using, which isn't. Sorry, a user interface that I'm using that isn't what gets returned from here, because that's the thing that gets returned. So to fix that, we could either, well, we can't overload this because we would need to conform back to this, which would mean that we would have to create a facade to fake this and then return the right user interface. Yeah. So this one here, for instance, returns the app entity user interface, but this, wherever the find user by email thing, this one here, this returns a FOSS user bundle model interface. So I can't use this one because it returns the wrong interface. That's the problem. Which is why I did the find user by email. Was it? Or sorry, get user by email, because we're getting the user. And then I thought, well, we'll pass in the request rather than, you know, the actual thing. So okay, maybe it's this I need to change instead of this one. I mean, we could still pass in the request, although we want to handle the request at the top, so we can't do that. So would need to have to pass in the email. So this is get user from email. But again, as Bad Code Wish mentions, this is not the best way to do it either, because you're hiding the fact. You're saying that it's going to throw an exception, but you're hiding that assertion. Yeah, I deprecated it. I deprecated it. So so I'm gonna have to create that one. And really, I'm gonna not bother with the throwing of the exception, to be honest. It's too much work. Like, there's too much work on just this call, I think. Anyway, let's get into... That was the method that I was creating. So we pass in the email, and then here we do this find user by email. Now this is going to be the base class email address. This is going to pass a user. But the thing is that this user that gets returned is going to have the wrong interface. So how would we get around that? If user is an instance of user interface, which is my one, and then return. I guess what we would do is we would return null, right? So we would do user interface, and then if that isn't, and we could probably do this in ternary, but or ternary. So this would be we would return null. And in this case, we would return the user. I'm not sure if that's going to like that, to be honest. We'll run it through PHP stan just to be doubly sure. But essentially what I'm trying to do here is, because this is the base class on FOSS user, and it's returning a user interface on FOSS user. But my users have their own interface. And because FOSS doesn't extend my interfaces extend FOSS's interfaces. I can't do that. So this is kind of a wrapper, I guess, for that. It's a bit messy. Anyway, let's run stan and just see what's going on if this gets picked up. Let's come out of the containers and then just do make stan static analysis. Just to be sure. No, there is a couple of errors. Although they're only on this class. So, okay, let's tidy this up anyway. So, call to undefined method user manager get user from email. Why? I can see it here. Is it because it's on a manager interface? And is it because... User manager interface. Yeah, I need to create that. get user from. Is it from or? Yeah. It should be by. And if we were to follow, no, that's fine. That's fine. Passing in a string of email, and it returns either null or my user interface, not FOSS user's interface, my interface. Because other things in the application need my things. Okay. This is all deprecated, I suppose. Okay. So this is get user by email, passing an email address. All right, let's just make it a little bit more. So that would be user in here. Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that. Okay, that looks better. Let's run PHP stan. Okay, number 62, 63 and 64. 62, 63 and 64. Parameter 1 must be app manager, user manager interface, generate confirmation expects user interface, but app user interface or null is given. So at this point, I need to do a check which overrides this. So if user is an instance of user interface, my interface, and if it's not, then we throw an error. So it was this. Now, obviously, I want something in here. You know, I wouldn't. The reason why I put it in the base class is because it's a call that's been made by many places, but I don't think it's a good idea to put it in the base class. I really don't. Anyway, so that now should work. So we should now get good stan results. Yep, good. Okay, so that's cleared that bit up. For now, at least. I'm still going to look into dealing with that is user stuff and also the is system stuff. Anyway. So form is equal to this create form, password type, then we handle the request, and we get the email from this. So we need to do something if the form isn't valid. So form is valid. We need to do something if that isn't the case. I really did think that I created some code that returned the errors. But I can't remember where that would be. Maybe it's in the validators. I'm sure. Here we go. Here we go. Format violations. Yes. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm going to use a validator, I think. You see all of these lines here. This is because I recently upgraded this to PHP 7.4 and I haven't done anything to this. yet. I've literally just added a couple of strict types. So I do need to go through the whole project and update all of these things so they're PHP 7.4 lovelies. Okay, so this is this is the call that I wanted. This will format the violations, which makes me think that maybe this needs to go into a different class or something, because this is off of the this is the validator base class. This is the and I think all of these extend the validator, don't they? Yep. It's public, so we would just have to instantiate the validator, although we can't because it's abstract, so we can't instantiate that. So we can't test this unless we actually run... Oh dear. Yeah, that's a code smell. So in order to test that the violations are correct, and so what we would do is create a number of violations and then make sure that that response is correct. We would have to instantiate a validator for that to happen. I'm going to put this in as a bug. I'm going to put this in as a refactor bug. I told myself the other day that I've got to be very careful with going down too far down the rabbit hole of refactoring, because I really want to get this project live, and yes, there's a lot of stuff here that I need to refactor, but that can happen after live, as long as the code works, as long as the acceptance tests come back correct, and the unit tests and everything else come back correct. The stuff that is difficult to test, the last 20% of the code coverage, that kind of stuff. Anyway, I'm going to put this in as an issue. So this is what's the class called? Validator. At the moment, the format violations can only be tested if a validator is created. Create a service that formats violations. I can't spell violations. Create a service that formats violations. Call this service violation formatter. I'm having a tough time spelling today. Violation formatter. Pass in the violations. Violations to format. Oh, come on. VI. There we go. That's where I'm getting everything wrong. VI. Pass in the violations to format and test the output. Because this is the thing, right? Oh, why is that Why have I got the spinning beach ball of doom? What's... Okay, good. This is the thing, right? I mean, there's a lot of code here. There's literally 3 years worth of code here, and yes, I could probably waste like months and months and months refactoring this down to the nth degree. No, I don't need to do that. So is it a bug? It's a task. Refactor, I'm going to do some investigation on it. It's investigation. It's also API. It's also CMS. Yeah. Bunged into the backlog. Okay. Alright, so we can't test the violation. We can't test this. So in order to get this to work, we would need to create a validator. Which is nasty. And so we would create a validator. We would call this email and what we would do is we pass in the user manager, the user. We would build the constraints, so in this case it would just be an email constraint. And then we would... I see, this is my way of getting around the fact of not using forms. I think. Okay. Alright, we can do this. This is fine. So email here, pass in the... So we don't need that. We do need to have the... we do need to have, well, in fact it's very similar to this one, isn't it? So we do need to have the user manager and the user. This is the email up here. This would be the user manager interface. Do we need the user? No, yes, maybe if there is an instance of user. No, we don't need the user, not yet. No, we don't need the user because we don't know what the user is, who the user is at this point, so no, that's null. That's not going to happen. And then, so we set that. We deal with the parent, this constraint collection, build those constraints. We have the email. Email check. Do we need that? No, because the email check is validating that the email is unique, so we don't need to do that. We don't have a set of the user, so we don't have email check. Does email exist within another account? No, but we could still do. Does email exist? Find user by email. Yeah, we could do that. That could be our solution. Okay, so let's get rid of this one for a minute and also get rid of that. Email check. So this should be does user exist? Don't need that. There we go. Found user. If it's an instance of user, then there, we just return that. Okay. Right, I'm going to have a look and see where else I've used this. So register, for instance, or profile. Let's have a look at the profile. profile validator, set user, then validate. If is not valid, then we throw the errors. There we go. That's how that is handled. And we decode the request. Gotcha. Okay. So, in this case, we don't supply the form. We decode the request. We need to set the validator. So let's do it would be email validator. So this validator, we don't set the user because we don't have the user. We would then run validate. Let's update the there we go. Okay, then if there is, then it would throw violations. There we go. So we don't need that, which means we don't need this. But we still do need to have to get the user back. So we might, yeah, I mean, if that check there, if that didn't do that callback, so it was just checking the email, so it didn't do this, then we left that responsibility, which makes sense, you know, too much responsibility on these things. So this is just checking whether there is an email address and that it is correct. Then what we would do at this stage is we would say, okay, so we do the validation, and now we get the user back. So we would still need to get data, and this comes back as a standard object, I believe. So this would be email, I think. Let me double check that. That comes back as, oh, it's an array. Sorry, beg your pardon. Here we go. It's an email. Okay, so then if there isn't a user, we then throw this exception, which should actually be a return of a JSON response. Although that's handled anyway by the kernel. Deals with that. That should be okay. I mean, the front end is just going to say, check your email address. It's not going to, you know, this stuff isn't going to be fed through to the front end. Not visually, anyway. But Badwish made a great point earlier about the fact that we don't want to give too much away, so maybe instead of throwing a 404, maybe we should only do, maybe we should put this inside there. So maybe we should do this, right? Maybe we should do user if user, then we do user manager create confirmation token, user manager save the user, and then has sent. This is running the mailer. And again, we don't want to give too much away. Essentially what I want to do, let's bring all this back. I want to log this out. Right, I want for my internal benefit a log. So if this isn't, so it shouldn't throw an exception. It should throw a log. So okay, all right, I've got this. So if the user is an instance of the user interface, then we generate the confirmation token, we save the user, we do the email run. Okay, if it hasn't been sent, then instead of throwing a 400 error, which is a bad idea anyway, we log it out. So this, do we have, we've got get, I might be able to do get logger from here, although I'm not a massive fan of doing. Monologue class. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do actually is yeah, I'll deal with that in a minute. So this is send log, and then regardless of what happens, that should always come. So this should so email sent. All right. So if the user is an instance of the user interface, then we generate the confirmation token, we save the user. And then we then send the email. If it hasn't been sent, we add critical log, add error log. If the user isn't an interface, we do the same as well. So we're logging here and we're logging there, but we're always saying that the email has been sent. But we are checking valid emails. This in my head, this is making a little bit more sense. I mean, obviously there's some refactoring that we need to do with certain things. Okay, so all right. What I'm going to do is we can either pass in the PSR, the logging interface. Hey, JR, thank you very much for following. Thank you. You've set the emotes off. So this would be I guess it would be a critical issue. So email not sent. And I'm going to have to do something anyway about this, like capturing the fact that the email wasn't sent and putting it on another queue at some point. So email not sent. This is the forgotten password email. At the moment, this is actually sending physical emails. So I have wired that part up. So forgotten password, email not sent. Can we put in a channel for this? Critical or context? Sorry. Yes, we can. So, whoops. Okay, good. And we'll do the same at this point here. I think I'm going to change this from okay. It's a critical issue. Yep. And then here, if the user, this isn't a critical issue, right? This could just be like an alert. User has tried. Oh, attempt has made. Attempt. I mean, I don't really need to do anything here, to be honest, do I? Not really. It's only if... Yeah, I don't actually... I mean, it would be interesting to see, like, if there's lots of attempts. Attempt to... password with a non-existing okay. All right. Okay. Still looks like a big method though. But anyway, let's run those tests. Let's get back to those tests and just see what happens now. Can I run all the forgotten password tests at once? Just because we've done a lot of work. There's no need for this form now. We've done a lot of work, and I want to make just sure that we haven't screwed anything up. So, forgotten password test. Forgotten password. They should be grouped. I'm just going to double check them all. Group. Good, good. Yep. 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 Okay, let's run all those tests. So I'm going to have to get into the container. And then from here, I'm going to run... I'm not going to do VV. No need. Sorry, just looking at the chat here, there's... The message part needs to be outside the if, so it's set for the response. Yes, I think I've done that. Have I not done that? Yes. Sorry, these might have been old messages. Logger interface should be dependency injected. Don't forget inversion of control, definitely. Yep. I think what I'm going to do at some point, not now, because that again, this would have to be a bigger change. Sorry, yeah, it's tricky when you do these things live, you know. You're thinking about the code, you're talking about the code, and you've got to try and keep a track on the chat. And the way I get around it, which isn't great, to be honest, is to do it in blocks. I solve a problem, I go back to the chat, but then the chat's moved on, so I apologize. Yeah, so what was I talking about? So the what I would prefer to put the logger interface into the constructor rather than into the hey, the Tillidan subscribed. Oh, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you very much. I'm chuffed. I'm taken aback by that. Thank you, the Tillidan. And thank you very much as well for helping me out earlier with those Woo! Thank you very much with helping me out with those regex. I really appreciate that. I really appreciated that. I think that I would prefer to put the logger interface in the constructor of the base classes rather than not just on a per method call. Personally, but again, that's going to affect all constructors, and this project has been going for a while. So I think that would be a big change. It's not a case of just bumping it up the chain. Again, let's put that down as a bug. Thank you for joining the stream today. You're really helping with the cleanliness of this. Let me find that tab. So we're going to create a backlog here, and this is a task. So add the logger. Either this or have it. No. I was going to say something really dirty then. Like have a method to just get this out of the container. But no, that's a bad idea. So get logger interface, add logger interface to base class of controllers. And I'll just put a little note in here. This will take some time, as many controllers have their own constructors, which is a bad idea. I know. They have their own constructors, but they extend. They extend to the base constructor, but it would mean that I would have to go through all the concrete constructors and then populate the logger interface in those. And I'm pretty sure, 100% sure, that if I went down that rabbit hole today, I'm going to find a whole lot of other pain to deal with. So this will take some time, as many controllers have their own constructors that extend constructors. These controllers extend the base controller, but will need to be rewired. Okay, so I'm going to label this with, I'm going to assign it to myself, investigation, because I need to look into what is involved. So, involved across all controllers before starting this task. Right, because I want to do this once. Investigation, this is a refactor job, and this is a phase 2 jobby. Okay, good. Right, how did those tests go? Oh, we've got two failures. Incorrect payload request test, and also no existing email test. All right. Okay, let's fix those. So this is just an issue with the error. This is what we get: an actual error with the JSON request, but we get an invalid request. Was expected. Okay, so that's fine. So we go over to the CEST here. Which line was it? Line 59. Okay. And then this one was no existing email test. Failed asserting that 200 matches are 404. So actually, I think that's fine. Because this will check the user, and if the user doesn't exist with an email that doesn't exist with no existing email, that would return a 404 too. So yeah, that makes sense. So on what's that line now? Line 117. Oh, what am I doing? 117. Hang on a minute. I thought that was a 404. Failed assert. Why would that be a 200 OK? Why is that returning a 200 OK? Oh, it's returning a 200 OK because it's saying that there is a message. Yes. So this is saying that there is no existing email. So we're passing in does not exist, but we still want to send a message to say we've sent an email out. Because we don't want to give away the fact that the email doesn't exist on the system, because as bad code wise mentioned, you don't want to be giving too much away. So yes, this should be a 200 OK. So this should be okay. And we're also going to check for the actual message as well, which is this here. I see contains, just because we want to be total belt and braces on this. So it's not errors anymore, it's data and attributes. So we can check for the type as well. So we'll do that down here. And we also want to make sure that we have data. And then in here, whoopsie. So this is an array of attributes because we're using the JSON API spec. This would be a message, and that message would be email sent. Let's run those tests again. As those tests run, I'm going to make myself a cup of tea. I'll be back very, very soon. Sorry about that. We've run out of tea bags. Hence I don't have a tea, which is annoying. We have tea bags in the house. It's just they're not easy to get to. They're in storage, so... Oh, dear. So it's alright. Don't freak out. I'm going to have tea for Tuesday. Cups of tea keeps me going. So this will all work fine. This is good. My throat is going now. So yeah, no, this is good. So we've got all those tested. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave myself a note at this point here, because I'm sure I'm going to read this again and I'm going to go, what am I doing? Why am I only sending email sent when I've checked? So I'm going to just put in some comments. Regardless of, yes, so send a generic message regardless of whether or not a user has been found. We don't want to give anything away to the front end. Okay. All right, good. Okay, so is there anything else I can do to this? Let's go back to the so it's that one. That was what we were focusing on. Let's go back to the tests a minute and just review them. So start from the top. Let's get rid of this. So we're checking whether there is no token. So when you're not logged in, so when you're when there isn't a token, there has to be a token by the system token. So only system calls can make this. Okay, so this is checking whether there is no token whatsoever. That's fine. And then this is checking that it's get requests can't be made. That's fine. Then this is checking that an incorrect token. So when you're logged in as a user and you're trying to do this, so you shouldn't be able to forget. If you're logged in, this request is not available to you. And then this one is saying that you are logged in via the system. So this is a system call, but you're passing in an incorrect payload. And when that happens, you get a 400 exception with the error with JSON request. That makes sense. And then here we're saying that we're passing an invalid email address, and that's a bad request. That's fine. That's fine. And then here we're saying that we are sending an actual email that does exist on the system with a system user. So this is the success case. And we're checking in the database. So this is doing some database calls to see whether the user has been disabled. Now, I haven't yet wired up we've got emails sending off, but what I would like to do is at some point have a table in the database that has the date in which the email was sent, but we haven't got that yet. So that's as much as we can do at the moment. This is checking on non-existing email, so where this email doesn't exist, but we still want to make sure that the email sent message is received. So I think in terms of the APIs, I think that's as much as we can do at this point, which is good. So let's move on to the next one, which is the forgotten password reset token. So again, we're running it with no, this is a new set of tests. So let's run all of them. So we're now working on this one. So let's do a -G on forgotten password reset. That should do how many tests? 4. Okay, not a lot. Okay, so this is running this with no token. This is doing it with a user that's logged in token. That should be forbidden. Because only system tokens can make this call. Because at the moment the user has been logged out. Or hasn't logged in yet. Okay, so then this one is checking a success, is this right? Okay, so this is a token that we know that's in the system, and we're changing the password. So at this point, we want to make sure that it's a 200 OK. We want to make sure that we have a string message that's returned. We're not checking the actual message yet. And then we're getting the user by the ID that we know, because this is pre-existing data. We can see that the confirmation token is set to null. And we can also see that the active is true and the enabled is true. That reminds me, actually, the confirmation token needs to be set. We should be checking that in the next one, in the previous one, which is back here, where we're doing this thing here. We want to make sure that we have a confirmation token. So where we've got IC in database, I'm not sure if there's a way to say is not null. I don't think I can do that, because this is a one-to-one test, isn't it? Anyway, let's just make sure that those run through. They're fine. Okay. I want to make sure IC in database user. So there is a table. There is not a table, a field in the database called confirmation token. And what I would like to do is just to be 100% sure that is populated and it isn't null. I'm not sure how that IC in database. I'm not sure how to do that, because obviously the confirmation tokens are random for each one. I might have to Google that. So bear with me a second whilst I look through this. So we're using Codeception, and it's database check not null, declaring not null as a condition. That's basically what I want to do, isn't it? Yeah, use grab from database and assert not null. Okay.
Hello,
that makes sense. I better not get this username wrong. Thank you very much for following. Call me Anghabo. Thank you for following. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah, so I need to grab from the database and assert that it isn't null. Okay. So I grab from database. So let's say we've got the confirmation token, and we want to do grab from database. How you doing today? Call me an Aghabo. Hope you're doing well. Okay, so we need to pass in the table, which is user. And I believe we need to pass in the fields that we were after. So, or does that would run a select query, I guess. So we could just do ID. So in fact, this would be user, right? This would be ID. Is that right? Because it's an array, isn't it? Where the token is, where the email is. That's even better. This email. And in fact, we could probably just do this instead of this test, to be fair. Okay, what's going on here? Expected parameter string A. Looks fine to me. Expected parameter string. Why is that? Why? I grab from database. That's not a string, that's an array. Oh wait. That's the documentation is not. Oh, that's a comparison could be used. Grab from database. Okay, no, I should be looking at this one up here. Sorry. So we want to get, this is pulling the emails, right? Email. Yeah, okay, gotcha. So we could do confirmation token. Confirmation token. So that would be and then this is the condition. This is the condition, right? So where the email is equal to I grab from database, table the user, confirmation token, where the email is that. Okay, and then what we wanted to do is we want to do an assertion. So this no, I assert not assert null, assert has include, assert has links, has no are we passing anything? No, we're just passing an I. Is it this? This assert, no it's not. Okay, that's weird. What's this extending? It's not. That might be why. And I don't think I can do it through a... assert not null. I'm not sure if this is going to work because now I'm going against the codeception style of doing things, but we'll give it a go anyway. So the actual is confirmation token. And we can test this by doing is null or assert null. So that would fail, right? That would fail. Let's just focus on that one. So we're looking for a failing test here. Yes, it is failing. It's failing because it is null. Yeah, failing that, which is the confirmation token that we've just generated, is null. So yes, that does work. Wicked. I didn't realize I could do that as a static call using the PHP unit stuff. Cool. So that is assert not null. And really, we should, because we've got this whole thing back, we could get the active and the enabled columns back. I grab from database. Can I grab more than one column? Can I grab, because that's grabbing the email back. That's doing a comparison. Actions I don't see in database. I don't see in I grab column from database. Is that what we're on? No, grab from database. I grab from database email user. Fetches a single column from the database. Provide a table name when desired. I grab num records I have in database. I perform in database. I see in database. I see num records update database. Nope. It doesn't appear. Fetches a single column. So this is fetching email. Well, let's just leave it as is. Let's just leave that because that's fine. I was hoping that I could pull back the full user and then do an assertion on these two, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Anyway, let's get back to the reset stuff. I think we had the 4 tests and I think they were working. So we'll just run those through. And also we will go back to the reset bit here. So yeah, through these tests and just go through them all because there's some others that I want to include. So this is checking whether this can be made without a token, and it can't. This is checking that the token is wrong, and that becomes forbidden. And then this is checking that there is the right token and the right message back. So this is a test, and this is doing the C in database, checking the confirmation token has changed. Checking that the empty confirmation token, bad request. I don't really know what that's doing. Request empty confirm token. No. This is. I see. Okay, I see what's happening. So this is where you're passing up a confirmation token, and this is checking whether you can do so when it's empty. I gotcha. Okay. So you get the bad request, and then here is testing whether the confirmation token is not valid. So this confirmation token is one that we've got predefined on the test system. Okay. There's another test that I can certainly make, and that's making sure that this cannot be done through a GET request. So let's do that. So it's a similar thing to this, so where it is valid. So we want to make sure that everything else is valid, apart from the fact that so we've got the right payload, we've got the right password, and all of this jazz. But we're doing it through a GET request. And this would be a 405 because this would be a method not allowed. Yeah, okay, so let's run those tests again. Oh, have I messed something up here? There seems to be a problem with... Oh, I've called it the same thing. Oh, wait, I'm running on the wrong thing. It's this. Now I certainly know that, I've put in checks and stuff around the requests to ensure that they are only post requests and certain stuff like this. But this is kind of future-proofing it. So if there was any changes to the code that mistakenly changed these things, basically I'm making sure that I future-proof this. Okay, we got an error here. I might put logging on. I'm going to put some logging on. Make log critical. Yeah, of course you can ask me a personal question. Well, I suppose it depends on what it is. So Slayerdarth is asking, when I started working from home due to the initial lockdown measures, I struggled with managing work requests and ensuring I had enough time for exercise. Going for a walk. How do you do it? You're making an assumption that I am doing it. Yeah, that's a tricky one. That really is. So, so I was into running, but obviously due to lockdown, you can still go out and have a run, but I don't know. And I was going to the gym frequently. I've got a gym membership, and I was going there pre-lockdown. But it's something that I'm struggling with too. I seem to be drinking more in the evenings, not to the point of like oblivion, but I seem to be drinking more beer, and doing less exercise. And this wouldn't be an issue if I was doing more exercise. So, like for example, tonight I'll probably have a beer with my dinner. It's an issue. It's a weight issue rather than an issue with alcohol. And I also seem to be drinking just sort of like watching a film. I'm going to get a beer. I'm going to watch a film. I'm going to get a beer. I'm going to get some crisps. There's a lot of eating and drinking going on due to the lockdown, I feel. But it's not like drinking to the point of being drunk and having a hangover every night. It's just a tipple with something. So I can't really say that I've been doing a lot of exercise, which I should be doing. Occasionally I'll do some. I've got some weights in the spare room that I'll tinker with. I do like some weight training, but it's the thing is like that lockdown, drinking, eating crisps, combined with the fact that any work that you get as a freelancer during lockdown you just want to hold on to means that you're working a lot when you can, so you become tired. It's a recipe for burnout. So and I'm not very good at this whole thing. I tell you what though, taking Murphy out for a walk earlier, that was really good. I mean, from a mental health perspective, just seeing trees, seeing an empty path into the forest was just so nice. It was so good. It was like looking out into an ocean. You can just see endless sea, and here I was just seeing endless forest. It was lovely. Well, that's a good thing and a bad thing in its own right. The Tillidan, he's saying that for me it's no difference. I'm working 24/7. Hey, I can't say this username. Here we go. It's got a H in it. Is it? It's not Jerem. No, I want to say Jeremiah, but it's not. Jehumina Mana. Thank you for following. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. I tell you what we want to try and do now, like what me and my wife want to do more now is to support the local. Oh, that still doesn't mean I can say it. Jehu. Is it Jehu? Jehu. I'm really bad with names. I do apologize. Yeah, so we're eager to go out and go to the local coffee shops. We're eager to Yahoo. Sorry, gosh. Gotcha. Yahoo. Yeah, so we're eager to go out to the local coffee shops, and we're eager to go out to the local restaurants and stuff. But right now in the UK, I don't know where you lot are, and there's like existing health issues that we have, so we're just a little bit cautious. We don't really want, or that I have, not my wife, that I have. I'm being a little bit cautious with going around and seeing people. I haven't actually been into a shop at all. All the food that we've had since lockdown started has been delivered. So I haven't actually been into a shop. In fact, today, when I went out to take Murphy for a walk, it was the first time I actually went out the door with a wallet, so... and I had to look for it. Yeah, but we're eager to get back, but obviously when it's safer. I've got a bunch of masks here, so when we do make that transition, we'll have at least that level of safety, whatever level that is. No worries, the Tillen. Have a great day. Have a great evening. You need to work on your normal 40-hour week and studying on the weekend. Wow. Fair play to you. Yeah, it's those weird things, isn't it, Liquid Web? Saying, I had to drive into work to grab a book off the shelf and literally forgot the wallet. Yeah, it's those things that you would just take for granted, those things that you would just do automatically and stuff. Oh, you live in London? Yeah, I miss London. I'm in Gloucester. In the UK. So the Great People's Republic of Greater London. Okay, so what's going on here? HTTP build query expects parameter 1 to be an array, but the string has been given. What? That wasn't the error that I was thinking of getting. Get method test forgotten password token test. What line is this? 50. Okay. I can see it right here. 50's there, and we're doing a JSON encode of the JSON of this, so that looks fine. HTTP build query. Oh, because it's a GET request, I can't do that. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah. All right. So let's just do this without any payload, and let's just do this as a GET request, but with the correct bearer token. All right, let's run that. No, it's not. It's not that far away. I have yeah, it's not that far away. It does. M5, M4, boom. Yep. Or train station into Paddington, and you're there. Takes about 2 and a bit hours. But public transport is something that I'm distancing myself from a lot. Well, any kind of transport, to be honest. But yeah, I feel sorry for the people who have to use public transport right now. I really do. I feel super privileged in what I do. The fact that I've been a remote developer for nearly a decade or plus, maybe. I'll have to look back on the timeline of when I actually started doing remote dev. So, there hasn't been much change from me on the day-to-day. It's just all the other things that happen that you take for granted. And I'm moaning about it. And I know that there's going to be far more people who have far more tricky things to deal with. and putting on a little bit of weight, and knowing that there's gym equipment in the other room and that I haven't been using, and me moaning about this thing is just ludicrous because there's many people out there who have to do so much more. We've got friends and family in the as key in the key working sort of space, and all we do is push buttons, right? We just push buttons and get paid. At the end of the day, when the pandemic's on, I feel super privileged for what we do. It's crazy. Okay, so those tests passed. That was good. That's good. I don't think there's anything more to do with this. However, because at this stage we're looking for null. So essentially what happens, you see, is you make a request, you get the pass, you get your token back. So it generates the confirmation token and it saves that into the database. So where is that happening? One of these things does that. This here, yeah. So it creates a confirmation token that I'm grabbing from the database, and then what would happen on the front end is that when the user clicks, when they receive the email with the confirmation token, they go to a page, and that gets verified on the front end. It comes in the URL string, the confirmation token, and then that page will send a request off to, will send the token off. Sorry, no. What happens is once they click on the link in the email, they get sent to a page, and that page has the email change. The password changed, the password reset. That password plus the token gets pushed up. So that's what we're doing here. Gets pushed up, and then gets verified. So that's what these checks were doing. So it's not valid, and confirmation token is missing, that kind of stuff. And then what we do is we remove the confirmation token and we activate the account. So yeah. Okay, so let's move down the chain. So which one's the next one here? So we've got the password forgotten, password reset. That's what we've just done. So we've got post of the profile edit, and then we've got a bunch of get requests. So getting the resources, getting the tags, getting the user, and then this one. I just want to tackle this one, I think, because I don't really know what that is, because we've done all of this up here. So I don't know what that is. I think I can remove it, but I just want to double check. Sends a confirmation. I think this is something that I did ages ago and then sort of redid it better. So this is user forgotten password. We can check that that URL against this. So we can do in controller. I bet it's in the user controller. So let's come back with that. There we go. This is it. And this is in the user controller. Yes, of course it is. So this sends a user confirmation, which is the same as sends a user confirmation. So what is this doing? Yeah, that can get removed. So it decodes request, finds the user, then it's not even doing what it says it's doing. So I think this was a stub that I added. So let's get rid of it. There we go. So let's refresh this page. That should get regenerated. Tell you what I do miss though. I miss going to the sea. I miss going to Cornwall and Scotland and seeing vast spaces of nothingness, like, you know, vast oceans and water and beaches and trees and all of that stuff, you know, nature. So yeah, that's now gone. Okay. So API profile edit. Let's have a look at this one. API profile. I can't see it. Profile edit. And we're looking for files. No, that's the wrong one. Oh dear. It's this one. Okay, so this has just one method in it called edit. It looks like we're getting the user or throwing the exception. We're decoding the request. We've got the profile validator. We're setting the user that we've got from here. And we're validating the request back. If there's any violations, we put that into the JSON response and we put in a 400 bad request. And then at this point, we're doing contact maker. Don't know why we're doing that. Contact maker, we're passing in the user that we've just found. And then we're supplying the first name and the last name because that's the things that we want to put into there. And then we're hitting save. And then we're doing profile, user get profile. Okay. If we can't find the profile, we're setting the profile. And then we're setting the contact that we've just created from here. So this is assuming, and then user set profile, user set email. This is assuming, this is making a lot of assumptions. This is assuming that the user doesn't have a contact. Or, yeah. That's not right. Profile, user get profile, which is the same thing we were doing before. You contact, oh yeah, okay, so profile get contact, okay, and then we're creating that contact, and then we're setting the first name and last name. Okay, so that was, it's just not, it's just not very readable. This essentially. This is doing too much. The responsibility here is too much. We're making and updating depending on whether or not we have a contact. And we're and we're making a new profile if we don't have a profile. This is bad. Oh, this is bad code. I see these things and I'm like, why? Why did I do this? Because now we're getting the profile here and we're doing the instantiation and sending the profile. We're doing exactly the same. This block of text, the code, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines of code is very similar to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6. Yeah, that's not good. That's far from good. Wow. Yikes. All right, let's split this out. I need to sort that out. So, how do we get the contact? We get the contact from the user, from the profile, of the user. So we could do, let's just write it here. So so profile, it's basically this, isn't it? Let's not, yeah, okay. So profile, user get profile, if there isn't an instance of a profile, because when you log in, when you register, you don't have a profile. Yeah, that moment when you do git blame and it's like, oh no, it's me. Yeah. Profile, get profile. That's nullable. I mean, that really needs to be in its own little method, to be honest. Either like make or create, that kind of thing. And we could do this on the user. On the user model. No worries, liquid oxygen. My throat's going. It's because we don't have any tea. That's what I'm blaming on. Thank you for joining. Enjoy the rest of your stream. You enjoy the rest of your day, sir. You're prepping for your stream. Yeah, what are you doing? What are you doing? Yeah, I know that needs to be fixed. That in itself is throwing a logic exception. Yeah, what are you streaming, liquid option? First time touching Python. I tell you what. What's your Twitch link? Put your Twitch link in the Discord server. So if you go to here, Discord. Yeah, if you fancy it, you can join our Discord server. There is a section there called Who Am I? It's a play on the command Who Am I? And then you put in your Twitch account there. Yeah, there's so much fail on here. So really, I want to get users, instead of like set profile, I want to like user make profile if, when that hasn't. No worries. No problemo. So you're playing with Python today. Nice. Yeah, so really this needs to be like, if we were to refactor this, and I think what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to commit some of this code because there's a lot of code that's uncommitted, and now I want to move into some unit tests because there's a lot of code that needs to be committed. Jesus. So these are updating tests, so we'll pass that in. Updating tests for APIs. And then I didn't realize there was so much to commit. We'll deal with those separately. don't worry, I'm not just going to have updates as my commit message. I'm trying to get some sort of grouping. Okay. All right. Yeah, this is going to be a tricky one, I think. Okay, so adding exceptions, updating docs for that one. And find user by, get user email. And so these two are basically adding email find method. No, that doesn't make any sense. Hang on, let me spin this out a little bit, make a bit of room. Didn't we deprecate something? So that was added. What's happening here? Has field. Has bad method, cool. This is my version. Okay. Checking if okay, there's those two down. And then okay, yeah, this one here was to remove old forgotten password method. And okay, what did we do with that validator? We created the adding validator. Good, next. User interface, email, logger interface, email log. Okay. So these really were fixes for the tests. For updated tests. Okay, and now let's take a look at the other stuff. So the make file, I was playing around with code coverage for integration tests and yes, the Docker. I was playing around with ports. That can be reverted. This is the composer lock file. So this would be package updates. I mean, it's not great. I should have committed this as I was doing it. Good job, I'm in my own branch. That's all I can say. So this was test run. I think the only change here is that the integration test had coverage. In fact, that can be reverted too, because the coverage never worked. So yeah, the coverage never worked, so that can go back. Okay, right. Enough of that. So what I wanted to do was have like this thing here in a method in the user model, because what we're doing is we're saying if we have a profile, then we are. If we don't have a profile, sorry, we're instantiating a profile. So really, this logic can go somewhere. But what I want to do is is create a test behind this, and I want to have a think about whether or not this needs to be null to begin with, or whether we just create a blank profile. The problem with that, of course, if we just create a blank profile, it'll just end up with an empty record in the database, which isn't a bad thing. It's just a record with like the first name and last name just not there. Which is a bad thing actually, because they aren't nullable. Let me see. Are they nullable? So like I would have to... No, they're not. Sorry, the contact is nullable. And if the contact isn't nullable, then that would be a string. It's an empty string. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. Actually, I'm thinking now about creating a user and a contact when they first start. I think that's probably best. So let's get into the units. Let's get into some unit testing. So let's do entities, and it's a user test. We want to create a unit test where we're checking that when we instantiate a user, we have a profile and we have a contact. Okay, so test that blank, test blank profile. We'll do 2 tests, and then we'll do a test blank contact from a new user. So this is quite a big change. Right, we'll start with this one first. So we instantiate a new user, and this user should have get profile. That should be get profile should be the, actually that's the test, isn't it? But we want to make sure that on the profile we have is subscribed. Yeah, is subscribed. We want to make sure that that is false. No worries, Liquid Web. Thank you very much for joining the Discord community. Sweet. Speak to you there soon. Entity, Stripe. No. So we need the entity user. Oh yeah, we need these two. So we're making sure that we've got a blank profile. We're making sure that we can get a profile when we instantiate a user, and we can make sure that this is Patreon is false and is active is true. We want to make sure that this is an active profile. So I don't really know what's gonna. I will remove this one just to. I'm not sure what's gonna happen. We might get lots of issues. I don't know. Let's come out of the container and then let's do a make test unit. Yeah, so we've got some errors. Is subscribed or null? Yes. Okay, so we got the failing test. So when we instantiate a new user, what we need to do is we need to do this. Set profile is a new profile. Well, we actually need to create a profile, don't we? So set is active. Set active is true. Set contact. We haven't got that far yet. Set Patreon is false. Set subscribed is false. And then we obviously need to do this set profile is equal to profile. So if we ran those again, they should all pass. Okay. Good. So I'm going to create a method in here called public function create profile. Create blank profile. Just because I want this logic out of here. And we're going to call this set blank profile. Set blank profile. So we need to test that. And we need to return this on this too. And so this will be self, and this here we do this set blank profile. Okay, so let's test this out. Let's do entity set profile is a new profile so this will be reset profile test. Because what we're doing here is we're saying old profile is equal to new profile with the old profile set subscribed is true, and then down here we instantiate the user. We know that there is we then set the old profile to here. Okay, so we know that that is true. But what we want to do is we want to do entity set blank profile. Okay, boom. So let's just do some more checks on here. So we can do set Patreon set active is false. Run those tests. Good. And then the next one is the contact, right? So we would do a similar thing, right? Both of these, I suppose. I really should do this in a different class, I think, because we're moving away from, we're targeting the profiles and the contacts, but it's okay for now. So we set contact to blank. Okay, so with this, what we need to do when we instantiate the user and we set the blank profile, we also want to make sure that setting of the blank profile also sets a blank contact. So this would call profile set blank set contact, which would be contact. So this would be set blank contact. Which, do I need to do this? I just need to set a contact, do I not? Because the contact itself, hang on a minute, I'm getting confused. The contact here is null. And what I'm saying is that what I should have done actually on the user is where we've got this, that should be not null. We're now saying that every user has a profile, which is going to be a database change. That's going to be an interesting one to focus on, to deal with. Okay, so that's remove all those. Let's run the tests just to be 100% sure I haven't screwed anything up. Nope. How many? 248. Okay. So that's that. We're also going to deal with the contact now. So that's when we instantiate a profile and we... Hang on a minute. Am I... Hold fire. Hang on 2 seconds. So we're saying that that isn't null now. So you'll always have a contact. It'll just be, you just won't have anything in the contact, which is fine. But, so that's all set. That's all set. We don't need to set a blank profile. It is blank to begin with, so we don't need to do that. That's just adding a feature that doesn't need to be used, right? So in fact, we don't need to do any of this. What we do need to do is when we instantiate a user, we need to instantiate a profile and a contact. We don't need that. I mean, a test to go through that would be to say, okay, we instantiate a user, and we want to make sure that when we instantiate, when we do a profile and a get contact, we get the right things. So it's a testing for wiring the stuff up. So assert instance of, so get profile is profile class, and we want to make sure that get profile get contact is an instance of contact class. That's essentially all we need to do. So user check, and because we are doing unit tests, we really should test one of them at a time. So check for profile, and I'm going to just copy this. So this is test profile. That'll do. And then test contact underneath, and we'll take that away from here, and we'll take that away from there, and this will be test contact, because essentially this is all we need to do. Check for contact. So the fix here in user would be to inset blank profile, perhaps. It doesn't need to be in there, to be honest. We could just do profile is equal to a new profile, and then we do this set profile, passing in profile, and then in the profile itself, so let's get rid of that. In the profile itself, so when we hit profile, because contact can't be null in the constructor, which I don't have, so we'll create that. We do contact is equal to new contact, and we do this set contacts is equal to contact. Contact. There's no, the mapping seems to be okay. Let's run those tests. Okay, we got an error. Okay, target to assert false must be type of string. Object is given. Oh, hang on, what am I doing? Test contact. Testing assert true. This should be assert instance of, not assert true. Right, let's run those again. Okay, good. Good. Okay, so they work. Now, there's going to be a problem with the mapping, because if I did, let's get rid of that for a minute. If I jumped onto the container, so if I did docker bash, I need to do a diff. So I need to do, I forget what it is, bin console. It's migrations diff, I think. Doctrine migrations diff. Where are you? There. Now, I'll run this, and then what I'll do is I'll run the tests. No changes detected in your mapping. Really? That's strange. Are they nullable by... Are they not nullable by default? Or are they nullable by default? I forget. I think what I need to do is run the tests, and then I'll need to check the database. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Right, I'm going to say goodbye, because I'm going to grab some of my my dinner, Sunday dinner time. I will, before I go, I will just commit. Well, I won't commit the code yet. I need to run the tests, so I'm going to do make tests. So this is going to run all the tests. We'll make sure that PHP stan works before I leave. But then I'm going to run the tests. Nope. So we've fixed those issues. 2 are still remaining. What are those issues? So this tests the PHP beautifier. Okay, so they were fixed. No mess detection. Now it's running PHP stan. This is the important thing. Do we have any stan errors? Yes. Okay, I'll fix these first. So, first one is a PHP doc tag on entity user, line 81. So we'll fix this. So user entity on line 81. Yes, it's because that is null and that's not true. Alright. Next one, user schema. Else branch is unreachable because ternary operator condition is always true. Really? Okay, user schema. Line 60. Oh, of course, yes. Now we're checking. Yes, we don't need to do these checks anymore, do we? This is why PHP stan is so good. because I totally forgot about this. These are going to be empty strings, so we don't have to do these checks. Yeah, let's run those. And I want to just double check something on schemas. User schema. Let's have a look for profile. Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. Is it in response? Nope, that's fine. Okay, no worries. No worries. That's good. Stan's fine. Stan's happy with it. Awesome. Let's do that. Let's do that, Slaydarth. Give me a second whilst I have a look. I haven't done this in a while. Yep. Okay, so whilst this is going through, we're just going to wait for one test to pass, API test. And then what we'll do is we'll raid CM Griffing. Come on. And when you're there, I would like a raid call. Can you say hello coders in the chat? So when we raid CMF Griffing, can you say hello coders in the chat? Okay, here we go. Hello coders in the chat. We're raiding in 2, 1, here we go.